Hello and welcome to another Bushwhacker review. Today we are going to be taking a look at NASCAR Authentics Wave 9 for 2021. What I assume is the final wave for 2021. I would think that the next wave is going to be 2022 Wave 1. It'll still be all full of 2021 paint schemes, but I'm sure they're actually going to hopefully update the wave number at that point. I wonder how long it's going to take Authentics waves until we actually get to the next gen cars. I mean, I think the first next gen car is supposed to not come out till even April at the earliest right now, so I mean, I'm sure they'll probably somehow air freight a couple into Daytona if they even can do that. I hope they don't rush them because if anyone remembers how bad the early Gen 6s they rushed out were, those were coming out with all kinds of messed up decals. Especially I remember that Jimmy Johnson, that yellow Lowe's car he ran the shootout that year. You would get those and it was almost impossible to get ones that the stripes were actually lined up on the hood to the front nose, but that's story for another day. Today we got a brand new wave of Authentics. Honestly, a pretty solid wave here. Got some throwbacks, Xfinity, Truck, and Cup. Got a couple primaries this late in the year for some reason. Overall, it's a pretty solid wave. Why don't we just hop right into it immediately. Start out with Chase Briscoe's Ford Performance Racing School 14 car. One of his two primary paint schemes for this season. That's not very good on the decal right there, but I always like more Chase Briscoe stuff. I have the 124 of this. It's a really nice paint scheme. I have reviewed this car too. If you want to, a more in-depth look at it, you can check out that video. But pretty cool paint scheme. Like I said, I'll always take Chase Briscoe and Authentics. Although, like I said, it's kind of strange that this took this long to come out into Authentics. I'm pretty sure we got his high point too this year, didn't we? Definitely cool. Hopefully he does better this year in the 14 car than he did in 2021. Next up, we've got Austin Dillon's Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats, or Tracker Off-Road Chevy Camaro for 2021. This one is very odd. We didn't get this till, December. This seems like the kind of car that would have been back in, a wave back in, April, but this one's an okay paint scheme. I was never really a too big fan of this car. I mean, I like the black and orange, but it just seems a little bit too plain for a Bass Pro Shop car. I wish they would go back to the Bass Pro Shop cars that had camo and such. Just these that are just, black with a little bit of orange, just they don't really do as much for me. I would almost go back to preferring the old McMurray cars that were almost solidly orange with a little black, because we got so many black cars nowadays that it'd be better to have a bright neon orange car. But not a terrible choice for Authentics. Next up, we've got Bubba Wallace's McDonald's Toyota. This is the one he had for most of the season, not the one that was only ran in the fall, like the one he won at Talladega with. This is the paint scheme for the rest of the season. Still a really nice looking paint scheme. I love how you have the diagonal sideways McDonald's logo. You still have the fries up top. I will probably pick up the 124 of this one too. I'm definitely picking up his first win car. The fact that he finally got to break the McDonald's curse, I mean, I want that more than anything, just because he broke the McDonald's curse. I don't think anyone ever expected Bubba Wallace to be the one to finally break the McDonald's curse. And McDonald's likes it because they're going to increase the number of races that they have on his car this year, and they're going to sponsor Kurt Busch, which is really funny because they literally went to Larson at Ganassi because Kurt came to Ganassi. Because McDonald's oh, we don't want Kurt. He's against our image. He doesn't work for us, so they went to the 42 car instead of the one. And now, a couple years later, now it's just okay, Kurt, we'll sponsor you now. The hell changed with that? I know Kurt's kind of calmed down, but that just seems so random that they went from hell no, we don't want Kurt to get over here, Kurt. Well, this is definitely a cool car. I'm glad this is an Authentics. Next up, we have the only truck of the wave. We've got Kevin Harvick's Hunt Brothers Pizza truck from the Bristol Dirt Race. A lot of people forget that Kevin Harvick even did a truck race this year. Basically just his Cup paint scheme on a truck. Ryan Preece also raced the same paint scheme and won with it. Not a bad looking truck at all. Interesting, it does actually have roof camera logos, if you can see that. Those are really never on anything but a raced version, so that's really cool. The 124 of this should come with the treaded dirt tires and everything, so if you want a more detailed version of it, you can get the 124 of it. Not a bad choice at all. I always like when we get other series stuff from top drivers. Next up, we've got Chase Elliott's Hooters Alan Kawicki throwback. This was a really nice throwback. I do have the 124 of this. I haven't reviewed it yet, but You'll probably see a review of that sooner or later. As you know, I'm a huge Alan Quickie fan, so anytime we get an Alan Quickie throwback, I'm definitely game. Some people are like, oh, they've done it before. Like, it's a very iconic paint scheme, and it's Hooters. If you actually have Hooters, you're going to want to run the Alan Quickie car more than once. Who else are they going to run? Loy Allen? Nobody wants a Loy Allen throwback. Nobody wants to remember Loy Allen. Like, beyond that, you're like, oh, so maybe you can run Brett Bodine's car. Hell, say this is Brett Bodine's car, because this was literally the Quickie paint scheme still, so... There. It's a Bodine throwback, if that makes you happier. I just know, wow, that does... Look at how sideways that decal is. That thing's supposed to be lined up with the side skirt, and it's, like, angled towards the top. Look at how little those line up right there. That's hilarious. Lionel must really be rushing this wave out. I don't know. This wave seems to have more quality control issues than usual. That's pretty funny. Now we go from one of the best throwbacks of the year to one of the worst. We've got Martin Truex Jr.'s Auto Owners Insurance throwback. This was like halfway supposed to be a throwback to the old Furniture Row cars. Like, no. You can't just run a solid black car with your colors and be like, oh, it's his Furniture Row car. That's not how this works. Of course he won in this. Both times he's run really lame Auto Owners, like fake throwbacks, he's won in them. So maybe that's good luck for him, I don't know. But this was like, no. Like, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so if that's your excuse, where was the random color around the nose on the Furniture Row car? Where was the blue? Like, that paint scheme was literally a black car with neon orange numbers. So if you don't have anything to do with that beyond being a black car, you kind of fail. But I'm surprised they put this in Authentics. At this point, just give us a raced version and skip the clean one in Authentics. It's so weird how, like, Truex has some of the worst luck with throwbacks. Like, he has very rarely run any good throwbacks, and as long as the Donkin throwback race is gone, even when they, like, almost run a throwback, they didn't, because he had, like, 2015 he ran just a kind of Sherry Strong car. Wasn't really a throwback. Cool idea, but that was before everyone really got into it. 2016, he ran that other fake Auto Owners throwback, which was definitely much better than this one, but still not a real throwback. Then what? 2017 was that when he had that gold car. It was like halfway Dale Earnhardt's Bass Pro Shop car, and then halfway not, which was really odd. Then he ran like his old 2003 or 4 Bass Pro Shop paint scheme. That was fine. And then they kind of ruined it because they ran like a slightly different version that was supposed to be Hank Parker Jr.'s version of the paint scheme the next year for some reason. And then, what did he run last year? Or was that last year's? I feel like I'm missing a year in there, but I'm pretty sure he's never really run like a really good throwback beyond the one of 2 his like old Bass Pro Shop car. This is definitely not a throwback I'm a big fan of. Next up, we've got Josh Berry's Tire Pros throwback. This is another really good throwback. I've also reviewed the 124 of this one if you want a more detailed video. Of course, a throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s old Budweiser MLB All-Star game car. I mean, some people probably don't like this throwback because the number font or whatever, but, like, they replaced the baseball players with some very clever stuff. Like, you know, there's Dale celebrating on top of the car, and then this side has Michael and Dale celebrating together. Down to, like, you know, like, they put a logo there for the logo. You got, like, you know, Tire Pros. They completely, you know, Budweiser, and that was the All-Star Game logo type deal. Even here, it was, like, the official MLB shop, and now it's Shop Junior Nation. Like, they put a lot of detail into this car, and they really tried. So I definitely like this. Some people are just really picky. Like, I even saw somebody on Reddit the other day that was like, you know, if it's not going to have the correct number font and correct sponsor and everything, they might as well not even try. It's like, that's stupid. Like, yeah, some of these, like, you know, this one that you can barely even tell is what it's supposed to be unless you look it up. Yeah, save your time with those. But, like, you know exactly what this is supposed to be. The company, you know, the sponsors that try to at least put a lot of effort into recreating it without fully recreating it, like, they deserve credit in my book. But I don't know. Next up, we've got Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s United for America 911 Memorial car. Everyone knew this was going to be an Authentics. They're always going to take any Dale Jr. car and put an Authentics. I wonder if we're going to get his iRacing car they made a diecast of this year in Authentics. I'm also waiting because as we're recording this video, they still haven't put up that Kyle Larson test car that Dale Jr. raced for the sort of preseason Thunder thing we just had. I said Dale Jr. touched it. It's probably going to get a diecast. It's basically just a solid black test car with HendrickCars.com in it and a 5, but I will be shocked if they don't offer that. Dillon Jr.'s got a pretty nice looking Xfinity car for this year with Hellman's. They did a fan vote, which the one I voted for didn't win, but the one that got chosen was a pretty good paint scheme still. And so was this. I reviewed the 124 of this one as well. Just a really good looking paint scheme with the dark blue, the light blue, the fade into white and all that. Really cool 911 Memorial car. And last but not least of this wave, we've got Joey Logano's Shell Pennzoil Darlington throwback to Mario Andretti's Formula 1 car. I've also reviewed the 124 of this if you want to see a more detailed video. As you know, I have a collection of any of Logano's authentic cars, still sealed. So, as of right now, this wave was so hard to find that I only have one, so I wasn't going to open the only one I have until I find another one or find a way to get another one. This wave has just been very disappointing to find. I don't really know what's going on, but this has been one of the hardest waves to find for me. But anyways, this is a very nice paint scheme. I said when this first got revealed, I wasn't 100% on it, but like once I saw it, especially on track, like it looks really good. The bright red, the white, the old school like circle logos, the old school like logos with the boxes around them, the gold rims. Really good paint scheme. You can see the packaging if you want to take a look at that. I can always really take a look at the packaging. The McDonald's car is the chase piece. One of the worst chase pieces, I might add. You can barely even tell it's metallic, because white metallic equals like a little bit of a pearl, so unless you shine the light just right, you're never going to be able to tell. For a while, it almost looked like we were going to have a situation in our hands where all of them were the liquid color chase piece, because for some reason, like day one, like everyone was finding a liquid color chase piece. Like there was a while before anyone even found one without the sticker, which was very odd. But anyways, pretty solid wave. Like I said, this wave has been very difficult to find. That's why I haven't recorded a video until now. Like, I just haven't found the wave. Like, I've gotten a few different comments on videos lately. Like, where's the Wave 9 video? It's like, I just haven't found it. I finally just had a friend of mine who lives in North Carolina had to send it to me for me to even get it. Because I cannot find it. All my stores are either empty completely, have just 1/87 scale 2-packs from 2019 still, because nobody ever wanted those. And a couple stores just have occasional random old cars from other waves. Like one of my Targets has like a Blaney Advanced Auto Parts, and one has a Chase Elliott Napa car. And for anyone who follows me on Instagram for a long time, if you remember, I posted like probably a year ago, I have this one Target that has about 35 cars on the pegs, and they were all Bubba's Black Lives Matter car. I went back to that Target just for the hell of it, and they're down to about 6 or 7 of those Bubba cars, but they still do have 6 or 7, and I don't think they've stocked anything since then. That's still really funny to me, but... So I don't know, this wave's been very difficult to find. I have yet to see it in a store. I hope I find it, because like I said, I want a second Logano car so I can open one and keep one sealed. But... So if you want this wave, definitely good luck on that one, because it's probably, I'm sure it's hard for a lot of people to find right now. Remember, for all of your diecast needs, you can go to circlebdiecast.com, and if you use the code BWhack, you can get free shipping on any order over $20. Just go check that out if you want anything. But I think that's pretty much all there is to say. This has been a review of NASCAR Authentics Wave 9 for 2021. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.